欢迎回来，再来看南加州社区方面的消息。12月14日下午，2019国际辣妈大赛洛杉矶赛区特别节目《辣妈的魅力》于洛杉矶美国汉天卫视演播大厅开机录制。经过长达8个月的筛选，王伟、张艳艳、明丽华、严希玲、陈米娜5位辣妈选手脱颖而出，他们将代表洛杉矶地区参加于12月21日、22日在洛杉矶圣蒂莫斯伯尼塔剧院举行的2019年国际辣妈大赛全球总决选。为了让广大电视机观众先睹为快，在节目录制中，5位辣妈选手分别展示了个人才艺。
2019国际辣妈大赛洛杉矶赛区特别节目《辣妈的魅力》12月14日下午于洛杉矶美国汉天卫视演播大厅开机录制。经过长达8个月的筛选，王伟、张艳艳、明丽华、卢希玲、陈米娜5位辣妈选手脱颖而出，他们将代表洛杉矶地区参加于12月21、22日在洛杉矶圣蒂莫斯伯尼塔剧院举行的2019国际辣妈大赛全球总决赛。为了让本台的电视观众先睹为快，在节目录制中，5位辣妈选手分别展示了个人才艺，其出神入化的表演令人赞叹不已。本次辣妈大赛洛杉矶组委会主席、美国汉天传媒产业集团董事长李记，国际辣妈大赛洛杉矶组委会执行长江黎明向5位辣妈颁发证书，并分别致辞。
洛杉矶赛区这个辣妈大赛，还有世界辣妈这个决赛都在洛杉矶进行啊。我们汉天卫视的这次积极参与和组织洛杉矶地区的预选赛，今天呢，在我们的演播厅呢也进行了一个最后选手的比赛和抉择，然后也做了一个 final 最终决赛的演练我们希望呢，这个大家呢，洛杉矶的海外华人华侨呢积极参与这个活动因为这个辣妈呢给大家孩子的妈妈们提供了一个机会，让他们不仅在家里相夫教子，提供另外一个机会，让他们走出家庭面对社会，面对世界可以有新的选择，有更多的机会融入社会中去提供一些额外对社会做出额外的服务我们希望在22号这个决赛现场呢希望大家也来观看，来他们的表演，也看他们的才艺，也看他们给大家展示他们的能力。希望他们在举行辣妈大赛以后呢有更多的商业机会让他们在未来在美国的生活会更好。
辣妈的魅力特别节目将于本周内在汉天卫视31.2频道黄金时段播出，欢迎广大电视观众按时收看。汉天卫视记者吕立川洛杉矶采访报道。
假日季逐渐进入高潮，现在是一年中人们最快乐的时节，同样也是一年中浪费最大的季节。 根据统计，美国人在感恩节到新年之间制造的垃圾占全年的25%，而大量的礼品包装、节日装饰是其中比重很大的部分。专家呼吁科学环保地度过今年的节假日，并针对如何节约用度、选择可降解的材料提出了一些建议。
Despite the cheer, the holiday season takes a toll on the environment. But there are some sustainable ways to simplify and reduce waste.
We need to be aware of our impacts and of the things that we're purchasing, of the things that we're consuming.
Number 1, go with eco-friendly gifts. Give items that are long-lasting or can be reused or recycled. How about gift certificates to local museums, concerts, restaurants, or theaters? Or better yet, make your own holiday presents.
And it's pretty affordable because most of the ingredients you can have it at home. For example, doing the natural body scrub, the only things you'll need is olive oil, salt, and coconut oil, and maybe some essential oils.
And most people already have this at home. If you don't have Himalayan salt, you can use regular sugar or regular salt.
Number 2, ditch the wrapping paper. Opt for alternatives like scarves, magazines, newspapers, maps, and posters. According to the CDC, if every American family wrapped just 3 presents in reused materials, it would save enough paper to cover 45,000 football fields. And number 3, when it comes to decor, ditch the tinsel and plastic decor. Instead, use natural items like evergreens, berries, flowers, and twigs to make ornaments. Or simply reuse last year's items and avoid the temptation to buy anything new. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
临近年末，谷歌日前统计了2019年人们在卫生健康方面搜索最多的10个关键问题。他们首先公布了其中5个，主要集中在什么引起了肾结石、什么是 HPV、如何降低胆固醇、每天人应该摄入多少卡路里，以及人体内能够维持健康水平的酒精含量可以有多少上等问题。
In 2019, there was a wide variety of what we wanted to know. Here's the bottom half of the top 10 most asked questions of Dr. Google and our answers based on medical experts' information. Kidney stones are solid pieces of material that can form in your kidneys when you have high levels of certain minerals and salts in your urine. The Mayo Clinic says there's no definite single cause, but certain factors like genetics and diet can increase your risk. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is spread through intimate contact and is so common, almost everyone will get at least one type of it in their lives. The CDC says 90% of the time it's harmless, but the other 10% of cases can cause certain cancers. The American Heart Association suggests keeping a healthy lifestyle. Don't smoke, consume a moderate amount of calories, exercise. In some cases, it can be genetic. Unfortunately, there's no easy answer to this. It's based on each individual. But the U.S. dietary guidelines suggest anywhere from 1,600 to 2,000 calories per day for women and 2,000 to 3,000 for men. Once again, this depends on several factors. But the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism says, on average, an adult can break down 1 12-ounce beer, 1 5-ounce glass of wine, or 1.5 ounces of 80-proof distilled liquor per hour. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
非洲国家苏丹针对前总统巴希尔漫长的反抗运动终于有了一个结果。苏丹民众1年前不满总统巴希尔独裁，因此上街游行。军方于4月发动政变，推翻巴希尔并拘留他。苏丹法庭日前裁定巴希尔贪污及洗钱罪成立，判监2年。主审法官表示，考量到现年75岁的巴希尔年事已高，因此将他送往康复中心服刑。同时，巴希尔也被国际刑事法院通缉。国际刑事法院指控他在2000年代的达尔富尔冲突期间犯下战争罪行以及实施种族灭绝。
It was a day I almost didn't believe could happen. After 3 decades of dictatorship, freedom. Or so we thought. As a Sudanese journalist, this story was always going to be a difficult one to cover. This is the story of a year that was 30 years in the making. And these are the stories that we told. It began in December 2018. We received videos from protesters documenting the upheaval. Thousands taking to the streets in defiance. Very quickly, a brutal crackdown begins. The then dictator Omar al-Bashir declared a state of emergency. Working with extraordinarily brave local journalists, we were able to report in-country, undercover. As I was growing up here, the government's grip on its people was all-encompassing. But a rise in the cost of living in recent years has triggered protests against one of the world's longest-serving dictators, President Omar al-Bashir. The Sudanese government doesn't want the world to know what's happening. Any journalist caught reporting on the demonstrations risks life imprisonment and the death penalty. However dangerous it was for us, it was so much worse for the protesters. Ghost houses, torture houses, which the government says don't exist. We went to try and find one. For all of us who grew up under Bashir's dictatorship, ghost houses conjures up immediately the horrors this government is accused of. Torture, sexual assault, brutal beatings. Right in the center of Khartoum, we find a heavy military and intelligence presence. On your left, a screened-off square, a holding pen. Activists picked up in the city center tell us they're beaten here and sorted according to their alleged crime. We broadcast our findings. US lawmakers stepped up their condemnation, and days later, Bashir was gone.
The question now is, of course, what now? The reality is there is no government. We're in a process of negotiation. But for all of those people that we've spoken to here, it already feels like a win to just have persevered to get this far.
It was almost too good to be true, and it was. The generals who surrounded Bashir were still here.
You find yourselves at the head of a coup. Why? What drove you to be part of this?
I am not heading a coup. The armed forces took a decision to side with the people. This is the wish of the people. What the armed forces are doing now is not a coup, but a taking the side of the civilians.
But that didn't last for long. These scenes triggered months of standoff between the military and civilian protesters. The images of women at the front line of the protests had defined the uprising, and they bore the brunt of the security forces' violent response. Nidal Ahmed was brutally beaten by government forces, and she's not alone. CNN has spoken to hundreds of women throughout the months of the uprising in Sudan. They say they were targeted by government forces for the worst violence because they were women. We put the question to former Sudanese intelligence officers. Are women intentionally being targeted? They refused to be filmed, but agreed to be quoted, telling CNN they were commanded by their superiors, Aksirul Banat, break the girls, because if you break the girls, you break the men. A 3-year power-sharing deal is agreed as Sudanese watch almost unimaginable scenes. Our former dictator standing trial for corruption. As he gestures for quiet, it's clear he doesn't quite believe it's over either. And it may not be. Bashir's generals are still in power, and with 3 years to go before elections, we Sudanese are bracing ourselves for whatever may come next. Naim al-Bagher, CNN, London.
联合国第25届气候大会12月15日落下帷幕。本届气候大会旨在动员全球各国向碳中和的世界过渡，并且寻求更多国家加入更富有雄心的减排承诺。 如何通过有关碳交易市场来控制减排，是与会缔约国寻求达到的目标。但是相关的技术谈判几乎没有多大进展，未能达成全面协议来加强气候行动。联合国秘书长表示，周五没有达成协议，则需要延长会议来谈判细节。
You've been negotiating for the last 25 years, even before I was born.
Hilda's generation does not deserve a crisis they did not create.
I am the voice of the dying children, displaced women, and people suffering at the hands of climate crisis created by rich countries.
She's at the forefront of the climate protests in her native Uganda, cleaning plastic filth out of Lake Victoria. When Hilda was just 10 years old, the changing climate dried her family's crops. There was no water for the livestock.
We didn't have enough food, and then we started to sell off our property to survive. I missed 3 months without school when other people were at school. So I had to stay home because my parents could not afford. And it's too much. And when you talk to people who are causing this and then they're not listening, and then it feels like you're wasting time.
Words the big polluters don't want to hear or are turning away from. Despite all the signage declaring otherwise, these climate crisis negotiations feel less like they're about saving the planet and more like a battle between the haves and have-nots.
It's really driven by the youth, by those populations whose communities are already feeling the effects of climate change. The security is trying to keep control of this situation, trying to break this up.
But they won't give up.
How old are you here?
Here I was 12. So this was my group by then when we shot the video.
And so people were listening to you when you were 12.
Yeah.
Like these clips of videos you did, they made a difference.
Yeah, they did.
Nkosi got a UNICEF grant to get a biogas plant for his school to convert waste into energy. His trip to the conference was his first time on a plane to address halls of power.
I also know the magnitude of the danger which is coming.
They heard his words, but he feels like they didn't listen.
It hurts. It hurts. It actually hurts. I'm not actually seeing like real action on the ground. So, but that's what I feel currently, that there's nothing which is being done.
Leaders are even getting a dressing down from those too small to reach the podium.
This is not fair. Our leaders are just busy blaming each other instead of finding a long-term solution.
13-year-old Munir dreams of the stars. He wants to be a NASA scientist.
If they really love us, they should act right now, because the climate change problem should be taken seriously. It's not a joke. It's about future generations and our living on Earth.
It's the children who are the ones having grown-up conversations.
I do this with all my heart and with love for the coming generation.
Thank you.
Arwa Damon, CNN, Madrid.
来自朝鲜的核威胁依然没有消除。目前，韩国方面称，他们试图用新的方式打开朝鲜的大门。韩国向朝鲜提出共同开发和运用一些旅游景点和设施，希望文化产业的繁荣能够带动当地经济的发展，而外来人员的潜入也能消除朝鲜的敌意。他们现在认为，旅游业是维持朝鲜和平和消除与美国分歧的最好办法。
This is Mount Kumgang, or Diamond Mountain. Its serene beauty belies the political turmoil that surrounds it. A half-hour drive north of the DMZ, once a bustling joint tourist resort between North and South Korea. Now, according to leader Kim Jong-un, who visited recently, shabby and backward. He's pledged to tear the resort down.
It's the door to North Korea.
But the South Korean governor of this province, split in two by the DMZ, says it is the key to keeping an increasingly fragile peace.
They are saying they will begin again test of nuclear and intercontinental ballistic missile. So we must have a exit plan. The exit plan is, I think, is a Mountain Kumgang.
The tours were suspended in 2008 after a South Korean tourist was shot dead by a North Korean soldier. Pyongyang claimed she had entered an off-limits area. At a summit in Pyongyang last year, the leaders of North and South Korea agreed to resume the Kumgang tours and a joint industrial park in the North's Kaesong City as soon as conditions were right. Kim Jong-un announced it to his people and the world in his New Year's address, something he usually only does when he's sure it will happen. Tourism is exempt from UN Security Council sanctions imposed on North Korea, but the US believes it's too soon to reopen Kumgang. Washington has voiced concerns Pyongyang could use money from the resort to fund its nuclear and missile programs.
There were 6 times of summit meeting after Pyeongchang Winter Olympic Games. All of them, each of them were gorgeous ones. Big smile, big hand, big hug, and big promise, and then nothing. On the contrary, more sanction, more sanction. They're angry about it.
So this is the peace spell?
Yes, yes.
Governor Chae Mun-sun travelled to Washington last month to try and convince Trump administration officials to reopen the resort. He says they listened, but did not agree. The Minister for Unification has also been lobbying the US to give the green light.
It is far from Pyongyang, far from Seoul, far from Washington. It's not political, it's only tourism. So it's the key.
The key that South Korean officials fear is slipping through their hands. Paula Hancock's CNN near the DMZ, South Korea.
以上就是今天的汉天新闻，感谢收看，我们下次再见。